few years back, we talked about fighters with the worst cardio imaginable. Well, when you take endurance to the opposite extreme, turns out you get some of the greatest fighters that have ever competed. Who knew being tireless is a massive advantage? You're gonna want to put some road work in after this one.
Just a second.
When you're ready.
I'm Tommy from MMA On Point, and these are 10 fighters with the most insane gas tanks in MMA history. Number 10, the CEO. You might say the cardio and pace of TJ Dillashaw is beyond the capabilities of a human being. Those 9 rounds where he just beat the brakes off Renan Barão, I mean, he did not let up for a second. He was non-stop in his other 2 5-rounders against Joe Soto and Dominic Cruz as well. After years away from the sport, years he was forced to take away, he went 5 full rounds with Corey Sandhagen, shot on 19 takedown attempts, threw 300 plus strikes, had 8 minutes of control time, and managed to squeak out a victory. In large part because the man's tank has absolutely no end. It was like if you could somehow enhance your natural abilities beyond the scope of your training.
What are you implying?
He took EPO. We know he took EPO at the very least in the lead up to his flyweight debut against Henry Cejudo.
This is something that I decided to do on my own. You know, I trusted in the wrong people. I cheated, right?
Now, Dillashaw has denied using it any other time, and he's never been caught, so you could absolutely give him the benefit of the doubt if you felt like doing so, but if you didn't, I don't think anybody would blame you. That said, there's no denying that this dude's tank was just plain stupid, so controversy or not, he's making the list. Number 6, Endless Heart. If you go back and watch Frankie Edgar's debut bout in the UFC against Tyson Griffin from 2007, you'll see a bout with a pace that even by today's standards would be a bit absurd. Neither of them let up, striking, grappling anywhere and everywhere all over the cage for the full 15 minutes. So even though Edgar's win over BJ Penn was shocking at the time, we should have seen the speed and level of activity this dude can maintain without getting tired, on top of taking serious punishment, making him nearly impossible to beat unless you're at the very top of your game. The signs were there. Also, who gives an interview doing full cardio without sounding winded?
I think you need to mentally jump in head first, but have good people guide you in the right direction. But you gotta be all in. You wanna really make it go with this career.
In his second fight with Gray Maynard, Frankie was essentially finished in the first round, maybe twice I think. He should have had nothing for those next 20 minutes, and he rallied hard for the rest of the fight. He has been in so many 5-rounders. The 2 with Bendo, the 2 with Aldo. He's gone 25 with Max. His gas tank defines him as a fighter because it's what allows him to be so great.
Just knowing that the guy I'm fighting across the country is probably doing the same stuff I am, it makes me want to do it a little bit harder.
The dude even runs to the cage. It's a perfect encapsulation of him. Dude is never give up in human form. Number 8, jump around. One of the really fun things about making videos for you guys is going back and watching a ton of old fights. Ones I watched live but never revisited, because often with smaller fights, there's really no reason to go back as a fan, right? Well, if you're feeling like watching one of the most bizarre displays of gas tankery this sport has to offer, go back and watch Clay Guida versus Gray Maynard. This was a Fight Night main event back in 2012, and it's the perfect encapsulation of Guida's absolutely stupid cardio. To the confusion and frustration of Maynard, Clay hops around the cage for a full 25 minutes at a pace that would give endurance athletes heart palpitations. He's just circling and hopping, and it never ends. Even after the fight, as they're reading the decision, he's still hopping around.
He's got stamina for days. The guy's running around in circles. He was literally running.
And it's just the embodiment of Clay Guida's ultra cardio. Anytime he got in the cage, you knew it was going to be all gas, no breaks until the fight ended somehow. His wars with Diego Sanchez and Roger Huerta are both testaments to the never-ending pace this stringy-haired cardio goblin unleashed during his time in the UFC. Number 7, chaos cardio. I think what makes Colby Covington a great fighter is his ability to bring constant pressure. Whether it's grappling or striking, the sheer volume of offense put forth by Covington is overwhelming. It's probably not going to finish a fight, but he overloads to the point where it doesn't really matter if he can finish or not. And he wouldn't be able to fight that way if he didn't just have stupid cardio, which he does. Pretty much the entire Colby saga, starting with Brazil, you're a dump, all the way up to his win over Jorge Masvidal, the name of the game has been the same. Absurd amounts of strikes thrown, like 541 he put up against Robbie Lawler, and if applicable, a stupid number of takedowns. He got 12 against Brian Barberena in a 3-round fight, 6 against Jorge.
Colby is one of the
hardest to deal with because you can knock him down, you can hit him, but he's gonna keep on coming, and people have a hard time dealing with his pace.
He adapts his style like the slugfests he had with Kamaru Usman, but the constant in all these fights is that Colby has a gas tank that is all-time elite, and he's never not pushing the action. Number 6, total control. Do you know who has the most control time in UFC history? I'm right about to tell you, so you don't have to worry about looking it up. It's George St-Pierre, with 2 hours, 42 minutes, and 4 seconds. That is the exact runtime of James Cameron's Avatar. So go put Avatar on, and imagine GSP holding you down against your will for the entirety of it.
I don't think I'm gonna do that, man.
He has the 2nd most takedowns landed, the 4th most strikes landed. St-Pierre's title reign weaponized his unbelievable cardio to incredible effect, allowing him to mitigate danger, control the bout, and earn 8 defenses that were won by decision. That is 200 minutes against the best welterweights in the world. And he lost, 4 rounds total in that whole run. In order to fight the way he did, GSP needed an endless tank, and that's exactly what he had. How he obtained it is apparently not how you'd think, though.
I never do strength conditioning. I do not believe that doing running on a treadmill is gonna help you have a better cardio during the fight. I think everything in fighting is about efficiency.
Even though he shouldn't have won the decision, the fact that St-Pierre very clearly won the 5th round against Johnny Hendricks is a credit to his cardio because he got beat up that fight. He doesn't get to pull off that robbery if he gassed out after Hendricks took it to him in the 4th. So while his pace wasn't breakneck like other fighters on the list, his cardio allowed him to be in control unlike few others ever have been. Number 5, the Great's tank. There are 2 images that will stand out in my head forever from the first super fight between Alexander Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev. The first is Volk sitting in a body triangle for the last part of the 4th round, pissed off and fired up, yelling at Islam and punching him in the face from any angle he can. And the second is the look in Islam's eyes as he's getting absolutely pummeled in the 5th round and holding on for dear life. That whole last round, it is wild to see the difference in their body language. Islam's tank is near empty and Volk's is just about full still. And should we be surprised? I mean, this is the guy that beat Max Holloway over the course of 15 rounds. Volk's tank is legendary. He never gets tired. He never lets up. It's an endless pace.
That's out of camp. Camp hasn't even started, and that's what we fucking do to ourselves.
There was a lot of thought that Volk would not be able to regain the gold when he did against Diego Lopez because he's 37 years old now. For a moment, he was the poster child for the age of decline discussion, but he went 25 minutes with an absolute killer and won 4 rounds. Maybe the way to beat age is a stupidly endless gas tank. Number 4, the Boogeyman. Dude, prime Tony Ferguson might have had some of the greatest weaponized cardio in the history of the sport.
He doesn't get tired. He's not breathing heavy.
Because he could just go, he would walk down everybody while doing fucking barrel rolls and all kinds of unorthodox, confusing shit, but it would land eventually, and when it did, you were in serious trouble. Because once he opened up, that pace was not going to get any slower. He would just break fighters down over time, and it's because his tank was bottomless. One of the most insane things he ever did was win a fight essentially from his back the entire time against Danny Castillo. Despite the position, despite the optics, he never tired with Danny's weight on top. He just kept battering him from the bottom, and it worked. He got the victory. And this was back in 2014 where you could win a fight just by being on top the whole time. To push the pace he did in so many of his fights, RDA, Kevin Lee, Pettis, Cowboy, it couldn't be done without his tank. You can't be the Boogeyman unless you're scary, and El Kukui was scary because, like a horror movie monster, he was never going to stop. Number 3, maximum volume.
Everybody can be the greatest fresh. When you're tired and you're dead tired, you gotta go that one more round, the extra minute. That's what separates the greats from the greatest, you know?
Quite literally, nobody has landed more strikes in the history of the UFC, and I would dare venture to say the history of mixed martial arts, than Max Holloway. Not only that, but he's also absorbed the most strikes. So many fighters will tell you that taking big shots kills your cardio. Well, then Max Holloway must have reserves we can't even fathom because there is no slowing down. Of course, there's the Brian Ortega defense, 507 strikes thrown, and it didn't even make it to the 5th round. They couldn't because he completely destroyed Ortega by that point. He also defended 9 takedown attempts in that fight, by the way. Then, of course, there was the Calvin Kattar fight. I mean, 746 strikes thrown, 447 landed. And was he tired by the end? No. He was taunting Kattar and talking to the commentary team mid-fight. The biggest testament to Holloway's unending cardio, though, is his ability to finish late in a fight. Every time he points to the middle, his opponents really should just run away as the crowd boos because Max is just as dangerous as the horn is about to sound as he is at any other point in the fight.
Face first on the canvas.
Number 2, Cardio King. So heavyweights aren't supposed to be good at cardio. They are too big, their bodies expend too much energy, and yet there is Cain Velasquez.
Because they call him Cardio Cain. He'll never go away. He's the Terminator, according to Dana White. He stays in your face.
Now, early in his career, we didn't really need to see that much of Cain's cardio, as he would win in the first couple rounds usually. But an early indicator he could go endlessly was Czech Congo. 7 of 10 takedowns, 13 minutes of control time in a 15-minute fight, and he threw 320 strikes. That is insane. Of course, the terrifying reality of Cain's cardio was on full display in JDS 2 and 3. 10 rounds in total of the most unending and relentless beating we've ever seen in a heavyweight fight. They are hard to watch because it is just endless pain for Dos Santos. But it's truly a testament to Velasquez's superhuman tank because those 5th rounds were just as pressure heavy as the openers. Finishing JDS late in the 5th in the 3rd fight should not have been possible. Now, we all know, ironically enough, that Cain's cardio would be his downfall against Fabricio Verdum, but had he shown up to Mexico City a few weeks earlier, Cardio Cain would have been just fine. You try fighting a heavyweight in the sky. This was a hard list to narrow down, so I gotta give some honorable mention shout-outs here. The Diaz brothers. I mean, they're literally Terminators. You can't put them away. They never get tired. They're always a threat, i.e. Nate late against Leon. Both cardio machines, both triathletes, both deserve a nod. Randy Couture, one of the originators of having a stupid gas tank, the definition of a wrestler through and through, and all the way up through his damn 40s, that guy was never tiring out. Demetrius Johnson. Did you ever see him tired in any way, ever? He made it look so easy, it was almost hard to notice how good his cardio was, but he deserves some love here too. And of course, Kamaru Usman. We talked Colby, and Kamaru's tank is nearly as ridiculous. But it was going to be one or the other, and I think Colby deserved that spot in the video. All right, number 1, the Machine. Khalil Roundtree had an absolutely bonkers anecdote about Merab Dvalishvili after UFC 230, his most recent title defense.
At 12 o'clock in the afternoon on fight day, Merab sparred 5 rounds in the cage, live. Because that's just who he is. That's unreal. Yes.
In case you forgot, that bout with Corey Sandhagen went 25 minutes. Merab shot on 37 takedowns, landed 20, and threw 399 strikes total. We have never seen anything like Merab in mixed martial arts. Every single one of his fights is a relentless death march. His main weapon is his cardio. He is drowning his opponents. He puts the same blistering pace on a fight in the first 30 seconds as he does in the last 30 seconds. And so far, it's been entirely impossible for anyone to compete with that through now 4 successful title defenses and a 14-fight win streak. His endless gas tank apparently applies to his activity in general because he is going on his 4th title fight this year alone in December, something that has never been done in the UFC before. Some might say this is recency bias putting Merab at number 1, but I don't think it's even particularly close in this category, and his placement at number 1 is going to be evergreen. Come back in 10 years, I guarantee it is just as valid. Just like my shout out of the amazing Max Randall. Please follow him on his socials, check out his awesome YouTube channel, and show him some love. A massive thanks to our channel members. Your support is incredibly appreciated. Fight fans, hit the join button, become a member, get exclusive content. It's pretty fucking cool. Like and subscribe because I do a bunch of these all the time. Leave a comment about which of these cardio monsters you love the most, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.